Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle and this is a word of caution regarding watching pick a card love readings. So while there is nothing inherently wrong with wanting to know where you stand with the love interest on your mind, the reason why you're wanting to know where you stand with them matters greatly, as it can greatly impact your mental and emotional well-being. So a very good question to ask yourself when it comes to why you're watching pick a card love readings is, am I simply curious or am I actually clinging? Holding on to hope isn't always a good thing, especially if it's keeping you stuck in limerence or in codependence. The last thing I want to do is to enable limerence and codependence with the content that I create. I want to help you create a life in which you're truly thriving, not keep you stuck in survival mode. And I know how it all works because I've been there. So this is where grace, knowledge, understanding, and compassion come in. It's okay if the only way you're able to self-soothe in this moment is by way of participating in coping mechanisms, distractions, and the like. As long as you're also doing yourself a favor by learning how to heal the wounding that has been fueling any limerence and or codependent patterns that you might have. My promise to you is that as you heal the wounding, your dependency on your SP, which means specific person, aka the person on your mind, or your ex, will begin to dissolve naturally, to the point where you're not even curious about what they're thinking and how they're feeling about you anymore. I know this to be true from personal experience. When you're ready to start healing the wounding, I have some amazing resources to get you going. My personal recommendation is to start with 2 videos, how to stop manifesting separation, and then the other one is called Releasing the Wants. Both videos will be linked in the description box below. My heart is always with you guys, and with that I bid you more happy viewing. Love, Michelle. What is going on, Pile 1? Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Michelle. We are doing another pick a card love reading, tapping in and channeling through your person's real, true, honest thoughts and feelings when it comes to you and their connection with you. And I just, for some reason, I wanted to say their real, true love thoughts. Okay, so there's definitely an element of love coming through, deep care and affection when it comes to your person and you and their connection with you. Okay. Just keep in mind, you guys, it's a general collective love reading, so whatever resonates, do whatever you want with it. If something isn't quite landing, just drop that message or that bit of information and leave it behind for whomever it might be resonating with. I do have personal readings available if you want me to tap exclusively into you and your person's connection. All the booking details can be found in the description box below. There's a lot of readings available in the specific person category. Many of them are just $25. I also do have a $25 thoughts and feelings reading that you can book regarding your specific person. All right, Pile 1. So go check them out. Pile 1, you guys were drawn to, let's see, the blue lace agates. Okay, your person's overall mood, energy, orientation when it comes to you and their connection with you. We got them in the observer. Okay, they're observing. They could be pulling back. Interesting to note there. So we do have the observer. We also have the 4 of Swords showing up in the reverse. Okay, so we got the 10 of Cups, the 4 of Swords in the reverse, and then we have the 8 of Swords in the reverse. And so there's good news here. Your person may have pulled back prior, Pile 1, because they felt like maybe they needed to get a good grip on things, or to kind of get a handle on the situation, or maybe try to see things more clearly. They could have been feeling trapped, or could have been dealing with some kind of restriction when it came to, especially with that observer energy there. This feels like them, like they knew they weren't seeing something clearly. They knew it, but that wasn't helping them. Just knowing that they weren't seeing something clearly wasn't helping them. So they're like, I had to step back and pull my energy back. Hanged man energy coming through with that. They could have been silent for a while, Pile 1. I'm hearing weeks and months, okay? But the point of that is or was to they wanted to see something clearly. They wanted to see the connection clearly, see you clearly. And it seems like them doing that actually did. It helped them, okay? What do they call that when they, like the objective was met, okay? They're seeing something clearly. With the Ace of Swords, the Eight of, yeah, so the Ace of Swords is coming through. Yes, they are seeing things very clearly now. They experienced some kind of an aha moment, some kind of a breakthrough. They're no longer, like, they're feeling, whereas they might have felt restricted, they're no longer feeling restricted when it comes to you and their connection with you. And, yes, they have been in the observer mode, but they are coming out of that. It even says here, it says finding mental strength, awakening. Yeah, that's that Ace of Swords energy that just came through, rejoining the world. But they can also talk about rejoining your guys' connection after a time of isolation, okay? And then it just says coming out of isolation. All right, your person pulled back, but they're going to be reintegrating themselves and rejoining you in the connection, because we have the Ten of Cups right here. Whatever it was that they needed to see about your guys' connection, either this Ten of Cups energy, remained, and or this Ten of Cups energy is the result of this Eight of Swords energy having been flipped around, and now they're seeing things very, very clearly, okay? They're seeing happily ever after with you. All right, paradise, emotional fulfillment, all that good stuff. All right, so now we're going to find out what their honest thoughts and feelings are when it comes to you and their connection with you, pile. I gotta leave my, I don't know, I gotta leave my ringer on, because I'm not really expecting a phone call, but just in case an important phone call comes through, I want to make sure I don't miss it. All right, so if I start getting a whole lot of messages and it's distracting, though, I will turn it off. Pile one's person, what is their real, true, honest thoughts and feelings when it comes to pile one, please? One more shuffle. Why am I hearing, there's a song I'm hearing called Tears of a Clown. You might want to go, it's by Smokey Robinson. You might want to go check out what the lyrics are to that, because I keep hearing that. And I just now caught on to it. Like I've been hearing it, I think, pretty much in the background since your guys is, I'm going to look it up right now. All right, hold on. Tears of a Clown. Give me a minute, please. Give that a minute so it pops up. All right, let's see. Pile one's person, real, true, honest thoughts and feelings. I forgive you. Okay. First card out. We're gonna get 6 total. Nothing but drama. Depression is kicking my ass. What else we got going on here? I've made peace with our past, and that's coming out right underneath I forgive you. And at the bottom of the deck, we're not there yet, but it does want to be shown. It says no one compares to you. Yeah, that's, and this is more than just physical and sexual attraction. That Ten of Cups, that's emotional fulfillment. That's family. That's home. That's you like home base, right? I moved on. Showing up right underneath, nothing but drama. If there was something causing drama in your guys' connection, like a third party energy, it could be a person or just an energy and interference or something. It's like they're moving on from that. Okay. And then we have, I'm not avoiding you, I just need more time. Yeah, and that's that Four of Swords in the reverse. They are coming out of that isolation. They're not quite there yet, because we do still have them kind of in the observer effect. They could still be, maybe processing whatever that breakthrough was. Lost our spark showing up at the bottom of the deck. We'll see what's going on with that. Did Tears of a Clown, come on, did this ever... Oh, I don't know why it's taking so long. Give me a minute. There we go. For some reason it may not be. Interesting. My internet normally does not take this long, and it's taking this long for some reason right now. Tell me more about Lost Star Spark at the bottom of the deck. Tell me about the bottom of the deck energy, please. Because I keep hearing that tears of a clown, but it's that part, like the chorus. And I want to know what the lyrics are, because there's a message there. Your person might be feeling foolish about something. Hold on. Tell me more about this bottom of the deck energy. There is kind of an energy of your person. They want you to be happy, okay? They want you to be proud. And I just saw the sun again. And tell me about the bottom of the deck energy here. Okay, yeah, that actually is energy that's on its way out, so that's weakening, okay? So whatever, okay, so let me check nothing but drama real quick. Is this... Cards keep wanting to pop out and then they go right back in the deck. There's that Eight of Swords again. Okay, so this drama is specifically tying back to you guys and their connection with you, okay? But that's being clarified by the Eight of Swords. So it's the Eight of Swords energy that was coming from your person. Okay, that's not drama that was starting with you. That was drama that was originating with your person. I can't believe this is not, there we go, finally, jeez. Let me look at it real quick. I don't know why that took. Let's see, now if there's a smile on my face, it's only there trying to fool the public, but when it comes down to fooling you, now honey, that's quite a different subject. But don't let my glad expression give you the wrong impression. Really, I'm sad. Oh, sadder than sad. You're gone and I'm hurting so bad. Like a clown, I pretend to be glad. Yeah. There's a part of the chorus that says, decided to go, why did you go? Oh, I need you so. I'm hurt and I want you to know, but for others I put on a show. Yeah. And so that's what I was kind of carrying. Like, you know, if the two of you are not together, you're not talking, your person is like, I'm not doing good, pile 2 or pile 1. Sorry, I'm not doing good. Okay. They've had some realizations and some breakthroughs and some epiphanies, you know, and they are taking personal responsibility for where things are at. Like if the two of you are broken up and you're not talking and maybe you've moved on, okay, I'll look at that I moved on energy here in a minute, because your person is in this energy of like, damn, I was so foolish. I'm hearing them say, and excuse my language, but they're saying, God, I was so fucking foolish. I was so foolish. They feel like a straight up clown. Like they played themselves, okay? And that was because of this Eight of Swords energy that they were in. They may have been operating under some false impressions when it came to you. They weren't seeing you clearly. They weren't seeing the connection clearly. They see things very clearly now. And it's like, for some of you, it could be too little too late, right? And if it's not, you know, your person could also be like, they could just be in heavy regret, for, you know, how them up until now not seeing you in the connection for who and what it really was and what you really were. You know, they feel bad about that. I mean, I'll give you an example, and it's just a very general example. They could have like been projecting things onto you, you know, they could have thought you to be somebody that you weren't. They could have thought you to be someone that they couldn't trust when it turns out now they know that they can. You know, they could have mistook one, you know, so for instance, if, you know, if they saw you as being really quiet and reserved and maybe conservative in your energy, and you know, they might have mistaken that for weakness and not realizing, you know, you were an observer. Like, you observe and you know, you clock energy real quickly. And it's like, you know, on the flip side, if your person saw you as someone that was really outgoing and bubbly and just chatty Cathy and, you know, a social butterfly, they could have clocked that as you being like an attention whore, right? Not understanding and realizing you just have that natural ability to connect to people, and one of your giftings is to uplift people and encourage them, right? But whatever the case may be, whatever they may have been clocking as a weakness and have been using to mark against you, they're now understanding and realizing that was actually a superpower of pile ones, and I did not see it, and they see it now, and they feel so foolish. Okay, those are just an examples to kind of give you an idea. You know, your person was completely lost to that. Okay, there was something about you that they didn't like, and because of that, they were behaving towards you and treating you in a way that was completely undeserving, right? They were seeing you through a filter that was not correct. It's interesting though, it says, I forgive you. Okay, so pile one's person, king of wands, this is projection. And I mean, and you know, if there was something between the two of you, if there was anything that you feel, pile one, that maybe, you know, you would want to be forgiven about, they're letting you know they do forgive you. But this is coming through in projection with the king of wands showing up in the reverse. Okay, your person, they just didn't get it. They just didn't get it. They didn't get you. They didn't see, there's like, what's coming through is like, there's a quiet strength to you. You have power and you have strength. You've got stamina, but because it's quiet and you weren't boasting about it, you know, you weren't telling the world about it, it's like they were like, oh, well, pile one doesn't have any power. Pile one didn't have any stamina or charisma or anything like that. And turns out they're like, oh shit, yes, they do. They got it in spades. I just wasn't reading it right. Right? And so with I forgive you, that can also be pile one if you walked away. If you walked away from your person, or if you did something or said something that maybe made your person feel like it affected, or maybe it hit their ego or it hit their pride. But this is a specific message. If you walked away, why did I just hear flew away? Did some of you like break up and then get on a jet plane and like skedaddled? Okay, that could just be like the swiftness at which you like left. You like, nah, F this, and you were gone in a split second, right? They're like, they forgive you for that, okay? But they may have been butthurt over it for a while, but they're like, I forgive you now. And then we have depression is kicking my ass. What's that about? Keep hearing that song, Tears of a Clown. Yeah, oh, there's that King of Wands in the reverse again. You know, they're saying in their insecurities, in their low self-esteem, there's just something, they were lost. That's why it's like they couldn't see things clearly. It's hard to explain and putting into words, and I hope that you understand it. There was a lot of projection going on too. And you could have been a mirror, pile one. And so, you know, there could have been things about themselves that they hated, and they saw those aspects, you know, like you living out those aspects. For instance, like, you know, maybe your person used to see people that were really cool. Like maybe that was your person. Maybe your person wasn't really outgoing. Maybe they were really shy, or they're really reserved, or maybe they just felt like they weren't that great with people or something like that. And they saw those, what they believed to be was the same energy in you, or you displaying kind of similar whatever. But what they weren't realizing was that it wasn't that you were shy, it was that you were reading people. It's like you were quiet, not because you were shy or because you were scared or anything like that. I'm going to have to turn that off. It was because, again, you were reading people. You were getting a read on people because, you know, you could be very selective with your energy, and you know, not everybody, you know, deserves to participate in energetic exchanges with you, right? You know, that's just an example. But your person is understanding now and realizing, like, God, they got it all wrong when it came to you. They got it all wrong when it came to you. They projected a lot of their own insecurities and stuff onto you. Something has happened though in the absence or in them withdrawing their energy, and now they see things a lot more clearly. Something that they demonized you about or counted against you or something, they're realizing that's not what was going on at all. You know, now they're seeing it clearly and they're feeling really bad about that. Now it feels like with that depression is kicking my ass, your person is now like they're reckoning with themselves, right? Now they're at war with themselves. Now they're realizing, oh, you know, what I thought was true about me, you know, like the reason why they are not, like, they're not people, right? Like they don't have great people skills or whatever they saw in you that they thought was wrong. They're seeing that within themselves, right? But for different reasons. Like yours, you know, for them, if they're like attention whores, you know, they're doing it because they're, you know, they're not like people. They're not a people person because they genuinely love people. They're a people person because they're trying to fill like a void inside, right? Something along those lines. And it's like they used to demonize you or count it against you. And now they're realizing, no, that was me looking at pile one through a very fucked up lens. Because they, you know, you see what I'm saying? We'll get off of it because I feel like I'm over explaining. I hope you understand. Then we've got I've made peace with our past, no more regrets. Yeah, there could have been a really bad ending between the two of you. Really bad, okay? The Ten of Swords, but it is showing up in the reverse now. So it's like whatever happened between the two of you, you know, your person is like, they get it, they understand. For those of you that walked away or won't come back, it's like, yeah, they understand, they get it. You know, whatever lesson they needed to learn, they did learn it, but it's like they learned it too late, right? And they forgive you for not coming back or not returning, or they forgive you for walking away and not looking back, for those of you where that resonates. And they're like, they've made peace with it, okay? Yeah, some of you, I mean, you could have been the one that pulled away with the Four of Swords, okay? Whoever left, though, it caused your person to kind of withdraw, kind of into a hermit energy, and to really do some self-reflection. In pile one, that self-reflection actually worked, okay, when it comes to your person, especially the way that they're seeing you in a completely different light. They're seeing you in a light that favors you as opposed to like demonizes you or, you know, marks against you. Tell me about I moved on. Is this a third party energy? We got the Queen of Swords and the Knight of Swords. It's not romantic energy. I feel like, yeah, they're moved on from the drama. Yeah, that's their own shit. That's what they're saying they're moved on from, okay? But if we got the Queen of Swords here, though, showing up with the Knight of Swords, this almost feels like them going backwards, honestly. But, I mean, we can also, it's almost like the Queen of Swords and the Knight of Swords energy is like they're clashing with each other. Your person is still, didn't I say they're like in a reckoning? They're like in a reckoning. I feel, and that's what that is. There's like, you know, there could be a part of them wanting to move on, but then there's another part of them that's doing battle against that. They could have a hard time. Your person is the, what do they call that? This drama originated from your person, right? That Eight of Swords energy. It originated from your person, and your person is doing battle with whatever that is. I feel like it's that Knight of Swords energy. The good news is, though, is that Knight of Swords energy is in the upright position and not the reverse, and so there is some healing happening, but it's happening in stages, okay? This could also talk about like your person's inner feminine energy could be fully developed, but they're still in the process of developing their inner masculine energy. They're not quite king status yet, but they're working towards that. Okay, it's like they're trying to heal whatever it was that would not let them, or did not let them see you and their connection with you as clearly as what they're seeing it now, okay? We got, I'm not avoiding you, I just need more time. That could be talking about your person not communicating with you, not stepping up to the plate, okay? That could be in a This feels like, yeah, they're still at battle with their ego. There's parts of them that are winning. That's the good news. Okay, with that Six of Wands in the reverse, there's still a part of your person, and there's a very active part of your person's like a wounded ego that is still there, that they're still doing battle with. Okay, your person could be afraid of failure. They could feel afraid. They could be afraid of being wrong, and they could have stories or a narrative about what it means about themselves to be wrong or to be a failure that they're currently working on. Okay. Yeah, and this also could be like, you know, they're not avoiding you. They just need more time to admit to you that they were wrong. This feels like they want to talk to you, is what that feels like, pile one. They want to talk to you, but they know that there's an apology that needs to come with that, or at the very least an explanation, right? They could be that they want to talk to you about all of this stuff, of course, because at the very beginning we got that Marriage card here. You know, again, they're kicking themselves because now that they're seeing you very clearly, they're seeing you. They're like, oh, pile one wasn't like shy and quiet and reserved for no reason. You know, there's a reason why pile one was the way that they are. It's not that pile one was, you know, an attention whore and just, you know, wanting all the attention. It's like, no, that's not what it is. Pile one has a gift for, you know, boosting people's energy that need it, right? And so now they're seeing things in a whole new different light. They're seeing you now in your power and in your energy, and it is very attractive to them, pile one, with that Queen of Wands energy, okay? Something about your intuition is also coming through, your fire, your passion, your drive, your motivation and courage, where, you know, they may not have seen you that way before. They were projecting, and that's interesting because remember, they kept coming out as the King of Wands in the reverse. Yeah. They came out as the King of Wands in the reverse twice. There was so much projection going on. They couldn't see you because all they could see you through was the filter at which they were seeing and judging and criticizing themselves. All right. I hope that makes sense. One more, lost our spark, and then we will close your guys' reading. Oh, yeah, they know better. There's that Queen of Wands again. Like, no, you guys have not, you weren't the one that lost the spark. The spark itself isn't lost. It just kind of got dimmed. But the spark itself is not gone, and your person was the one that kept snuffing it out. If there was like the chemistry between a Queen and a King of Wands can never be lost. You know, it can be ignored, it can be suppressed, it can be gaslit, right, into not existing, but that doesn't mean that it's not there. And that's what your person is seeing now. They're like, holy shit, the chemistry between the two of you was off the charts, and they were the ones that sabotaged it. You know, they could be thinking that, you know, you lost motivation towards them, you lost attraction towards them and stuff like that, you know, and very well they could have, right? And they are kicking themselves over that pile one, just so you know, right? Go check out that song, Tears of a Clown, because it's exactly how your person is feeling and thinking when it comes to you and their connection with you. All right, pile one, that was your reading. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again today. If you got from this reading what you came here for, please do me a favor. Smash the like button for me. It's a wonderful way to energetically donate to the channel. Comment below, let me know that you picked this pile. Become part of the family simply by subscribing, and don't forget about the notification bell so you don't miss a reading or an announcement. Pile one, I'll see you guys at your next pick a card love reading. Bye guys. What's going on, pile two? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Michelle. We're doing another pick a card love reading, tapping in and channeling through Your person's true, honest thoughts and feelings when it comes to you and their connection with you. All right, so keep in mind it's a general collective love reading. Whatever resonates, do whatever you want with it. If something isn't quite landing, though, just drop that information or that message and leave it behind for whomever it might be resonating with. And I do have personal readings available if you want me to tap exclusively into you and your person's connection. All the booking details can be found in the description box below. Lots of readings available in the specific person category. Many of them are just $25, including a $25 thoughts and feelings reading regarding your specific person, okay? So go check them out. What do we got going on here? You guys were drawn to, what is that? The Rainbow Moonstone. Rainbow Moonstone. I don't know why rainbow. Oh, excuse me, you guys. Whew. Rainbow fluorite. There might be some, that's funny that I yawn because sometimes yawning, that's what happens when I'm like processing like old emotion or just processing emotion out anyway. And it's funny that rainbow fluorite was coming through right as that happened. And so your person might be processing some emotion or some emotional baggage or something like that. I don't know. We'll see what's going on. We got flexible, okay? This is their overall energy and their mood and their orientation towards you and their connection with you. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's what they're doing, possibly. Let's see, we got the Page of Wands showing up in the reverse. We got the Ten of Swords, yeah. Ooh, man, there's some stuff may have went down between the two of you, okay? They could feel like they failed. They might be looking to a higher power to kind of help out with the Hierophant there. So we got, let's see, the Page of Wands in the reverse, the Ten of Swords, the Six of Wands in the reverse, and then the Hierophant. All right, so we got Taurus energy coming through. We also have Fire, Aries, Leo, Sag energies coming through. Your person is, when it comes to you and their connection with you, pile 2, they're definitely feeling like something about something being put on pause, like, and yes, there's an ending between the two of you that feels very harsh, very painful, okay? Your person could be feeling backstabbed, or there could be a feeling of backstabbing, you know, when it comes to your guys' connection. That's, again, the Six of Wands in the reverse. That's feeling like a failure, okay? We'll see what's happening here. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, your person, they could be feeling very tired. That Ten of Swords here also says something about defeat. They could be feeling very defeated. Yeah, and then again, right next to that is that that Six of Wands. They could be praying. They could be seeking guidance and advice from a higher power, okay? From their higher self, source, guides, the universe, whatever. With flexible here, I'm hearing they're trying to keep an open mind, okay? They're trying to maybe be more flexible about whatever, something about rigid thinking, okay? They're trying not to be so rigid in their thinking or in their perceptions at this time. I'm going to do a couple more shuffles. There's one. And one more. Pile 2's person. I only have eyes for you. Okay. I gotta keep the ringer on my phone, guys. Anyway, let's see. So we have I only have eyes for you. That's your person. We're going to get 6 total. They're real, true, honest thoughts and feelings. What else do we got here? Avoidant attachment. Okay. They could have a tendency to withdraw in themselves. Yeah, and then we have relenting because you keep pressuring me, not because it's what I want. Okay. And that might be pointing towards commitment, you know, conformity, tradition, and stuff like that. And your person may not naturally, that may not be their natural disposition. All right. But we'll see. We'll see. Oh, we also have, I question your love for me. Okay. So they're saying they only have eyes for you, right? They don't necessarily want to be with anybody else, because the other side of that card says they have a wandering eye, you know, they crave attention and stuff from third parties. That's not your person. They're saying, I don't need anyone else. I don't crave anybody else's attention. The only person's attention I want is yours. The only validation I need is yours. And they question your love for them, or they question whether or not they have your undivided attention, or if they're the only ones that you have eyes for, right? They might feel like you could be distracted, or easily distracted. Why am I yawning a lot? Oh my gosh. Is your person going through a lot, pile 2? Because that's not me. Then this says, aren't you tired of dealing with my bullshit yet? And that is showing up underneath avoidant attachment. So, you know, they're coming through and understanding and realizing like they haven't been the easiest person, you know, for you to deal with. Okay. And they're saying it straight up. Like the way that they have been treating you, you know, could be framed and seen and perceived as bullshit. Okay. There's a level of them owning up to like they haven't been treating you the best. Okay. They got some attachment issues. That could be fueled by some abandonment wounding, or just fearing like a loss of autonomy or something like that. Let's get one more. Here's the thing though, look, we have remembering and focusing on the good times. And so your person, okay, hold on. A deactivating strategy for avoidance tends to be hyperfixating and only remembering and focusing on what they consider to be the bad times or faults or stuff like that. That's how, you know, they put distance, mental and emotional, and sometimes even physical distance, you know, between, or to keep anybody from getting too close, right? But your person's not doing that. Even though they are distracted, I just said that, bottom of the deck. And they could keep themselves distracted on purpose. So it's very possible, pile 2, that while your person does legitimately deal with an avoidant attachment style, they may not have the deactivating strategy of, you know, just remembering the bad times and only focusing on the faults and stuff like that. You know, they might be deactivated towards you and still only remember the good times, only think of you fondly, still connect to whatever good feelings that they may have, and they're still putting some kind of distance between the two of you when they feel that, you know, you're getting too close, okay? And so their way of deactivating might be by constantly keeping themselves distracted, okay? With third-party energies, which can be people, doesn't always have to be, okay? I mean, people can distract themselves with multiple things, work, just busyness, projects, work, all kinds of things. Your person could just keep themselves so busy that they exhaust themselves mentally and emotionally as a way, as an excuse to have, so that they don't have the energy to give to you in their connection with you. That could be a deactivating strategy of theirs. And please know, when I talk about deactivating strategies, that's not your person just waking up and being like, oh yeah, I'm feeling too close to pile 2, so what I'm going to do is go distract myself with other stuff until, you know, I'm too tired. You know, that's not how it works, right? All of this is happening at a very unconscious level, okay? But that is what's happening, and that is why. Tell me about relenting because you keep pressuring me, not because it's what I want. Ooh, this is interesting. Being clarified by the 9 of Wands. That's holding on and not letting go. Okay, your person could be feeling pressure to not walk away. Your person, but this is strange that it's coming through that way. they're almost, I don't want to say, it's like they're shifting the blame. They're blaming you for the reason why they don't want to let go. Okay. And that might be another one of their deactivating strategies, because if they were to just remove you from the equation and just deal with the fact that they don't want to let go, that's them having to face themselves and their feelings for you. Right. And so they're like, oh no, it's pile two's fault why I can't let go and just walk away. So I'm hanging on even though I don't want to. And that's not the case at all. Okay. It's like, it's your fault, pile two, that they're still here wanting to fight for your guys' connection. And it's like, no, that's not really how it works. It's it's your person's feelings. And it's funny that that's projection or deflection. That's deflection is what that is, not projection. That's deflection. Oh my gosh. Tell me about this Hierophant energy over here. Your person is feeling stuck when it comes to you and their connection with you, pile two. Okay, very stuck. There's a part of them that feels like they want to move forward and make progress in your guys' connection, and there's another part of them that just doesn't. Now, I don't feel like there's any part of your person that wants to step away and like leave the connection, right? I don't feel like that's it at all. But it's like, for some reason, there's something about maybe commitment coming through, and like to them, their orientation towards you, pile two, is being very flexible when it comes to your guys' connection, right? It can feel a lot more casual. I'll be honest, there's not a lot of, is there any cup energy? No, there's no cup energy coming out. There's not a whole lot in your person, in any of these energies, talking about your person's feelings. Okay. The Page of Wands in the reverse, like the Page of Wands in the upright position can be just like kind of, innocent flirtation and stuff like that. It's not seduction, but it is flirtation, right? It's saying nice things and complimentary. But when that energy is in the reverse, it's like there's not a lot of that happening, right? You guys may not even be communicating a heck of a whole lot. Let me see what's going on with that. See, your person, because they are kind of in this avoidant energy, they just want to skip over the stuff that actually matters, because I was almost going to skip right over that Ten of Swords energy. Let me look into it real quick. What's going on with this Ten of Swords energy here? They could be feeling hurt about something, especially if the two of you are not speaking, or there's been some kind of a... does your person have a tendency to want to minimize or minimalize the pain or the impact or the effect? That might be what that is. Tell me more about the Ten of Swords here. Ooh, I can't show it. Hold on, we got the Devil, okay? I can show it like that. We got the Devil, Capricorn energy coming through. That could be addictions getting in the way, addictions, self-sabotage, self-limitation, things of that nature that could have lended to, okay, a very painful ending between the two of you. And that might be why they feel like they failed with that Six of Wands in the reverse. There could have been some kind of a temptation that your person just could not resist, okay? And that's interesting that the Devil's coming out, and then we have the Hierophant. They're looking for strength. And so, but not just any strength, they're feeling weakened by whatever this Devil energy is. Again, inner demons, addiction, coping mechanisms, self-sabotage, temptations, and stuff like that. And they're seeking something from a higher power to try to help with that, right? Help with that devil energy, conquer that devil energy. Okay, because this devil energy seems to have been the root cause of whatever the painful ending was that happened between the two of you. Okay, which is interesting, okay, because it's like they're over here questioning your love for them. Tell me more about Pile 2's person questioning Pile 2's love for them. this almost feels with the Knight of Pentacles, because you're so, not slow, cautious, you know, you could be holding your person at arm's length right now. There's, I mean, yeah, that we have the energetic marker of an ending here, but I still feel like maybe there's something in your energy that is still kind of open to your person. You might be in this flexible energy too, but you're very cautious, right? And it's like, I'm not, and you know, the way you're coming across to your person, it's like, I'm not making a move until I know the coast is clear, until I know that this is safe, until I know that I'm not going to get hurt again, until I know that the problem has been solved. And your person is just kind of like, not taking it in the wrong way. It's like, this is you, you know, in self-preservation pile too, as you should be, especially if your person has some kind of addiction thing or whatever that devil energy is that caused the ending, this hurtful, painful ending between the two of you, right? Of course you should be that way. It's like you're looking out for red flags, you're watching for everything. It's like you're trying to remain flexible as well. You know, you may be trying, not that you're in rigid thinking, but you might be on the other end of the spectrum where you may have had a more difficult time, you know, enforcing boundaries, and now you are, right? The Knight of Pentacles is very methodical, very strategic. The Knight of Pentacles does not make a move until they know all the risk has been assessed, right? And so, because you're not willing to just blindly follow their lead anymore, that's why they're questioning your love for them. Because they, up until this point, their experience of you may have been like you just, you know, you would have taken them back, or you would have blindly followed their lead even after they hurt you and stuff. And there's a shift in the dynamic that has changed for many of you, where you used to operate a certain way with your person and now you're operating in a completely different way. It's like you've got more self-agency, you have more self-control, you're so much more cautious and so much more strategic. And it's like, I want to, but just because I want it doesn't mean I'm going to make a move towards it unless I know that it's safe. And if it's not safe, then I don't want it, right? It's that kind of an energy. Tell me about I'm distracted. Yeah, they distract themselves with options. Just busy bodies. Yeah, because I saw the Two of Pentacles. But you know what? It was showing up in the reverse though. So I mean, with the Ten of Wands showing up here for what your person keeps themselves distracted by, this is just anything and everything that they can possibly put on their plate, right? This is them depleting themselves on purpose, whether they are consciously aware of that or not. Because if they are working themselves, you know, to depletion, they don't have anything left over to give to you. And that is what their deactivating strategy is. They don't deactivate by, you know, purposely remembering the bad times between them. That's not how they deactivate. They deactivate by depleting their energy so they have no more to even focus on you in their connection with you. Okay, so, you know, I mean, it could be projects, it could be work, but whatever it is, it feels like work to your person. It's not like, you know, it's not social things, you know, it's things around the house or things they got to do for other people. It's chores, it's tasks, you know, stuff like that. All right. Pile 2, that was your reading. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again today. If you got from this reading what you came here for, take a moment, if you would, smash the like button for me. It's a wonderful way to energetically donate to the channel. Comment below. Let me know that you picked this pile. Let me know how it resonated. If you haven't become part of the family yet, you can do that simply by subscribing. Don't forget about the notification bell so you don't miss a reading or an announcement. And pile 2, I'll see you guys at your next pick a card love reading. Bye, you guys. What is happening, pile 3? Welcome back to my channel if you are new here. My name is Michelle. We're doing another pick a card love reading. We are tapping in and channeling through your person's real, true, honest thoughts and feelings. When it comes to you and their connection with you. Just keep in mind, you guys, that it's a collective general love reading, so whatever resonates, do whatever you want with it. If something is not quite landing, though, just drop that information or that message and leave it behind for whomever it might be resonating with. I do have personal readings available. If you want me to tap exclusively into you and your person's connection, just check the description box. It's where all the booking details can be found. A lot of readings are available in the specific person category. Many of them are just $25. including a $25 thoughts and feelings reading that you can book regarding your specific person. All right, pile 3. Let's get right into your reading. You guys were drawn to the Rhodonite. Palm stone is a very heavy stone. That's how you know if the Rhodonite that you get is real, because this thing is heavy. Okay, Rhodonite's pretty heavy. Oh, wow. Okay. So their overall mood, energy, and orientation towards you and their connection with you, as it's influencing their feelings and their thoughts about you. Pile 3. We got new life showing up in the reverse, and I said, oh wow, because I saw new life in the reverse, and then I saw the Ace of Cups. Okay. So I mean, you know, there's implications here of maybe like a new beginning, a reunion, a reconciliation. Okay, all of that is there. There's definitely some kind of a shift either wanting to happen in your guys' connection, needing to happen, or is happening, but your person is not necessarily it's not that they're not ready. That's not it. There's still something they feel like they haven't quite figured out yet. So we got we got new life showing up in the reverse. We got Justice, the Queen of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, and the King of Swords showing up in the reverse. Okay, so you know, they want to do the right thing. They want to do the fair and the balanced thing, and they're definitely wanting to figure out, you know, sometimes justice can also be seen as karma. And so, yeah, your person is definitely wanting to do the right thing. If they're going to be planting seed or investing in the connection with you, they want to make sure that it's being planted under the right conditions, right? And, you know, the soil with, see, and this is where I'm kind of like, huh? Because energetically, the soil is good. The conditions are great, right? But for some reason, your person is still, with this King of Swords in the reverse, there's this confused energy. There's something about, something that your person is trying to make sense of that is not making sense to them, at least, okay? They see you and the connection as very nurturing, very stable, very grounded. I'm hearing even very promising. They see the potential, right? The potential of a new beginning and starting things afresh, you know, are there. The love is there. Sometimes the Ace of Cups can also talk about fertility. So can the, you know, Ace of Pentacles. And here we have the Queen of Pentacles. There's something very fertile. Like the energy for your guys' connection is very fertile ground. It's very promising, and your person is aware of that. But for some reason, this King of Swords is showing up in the reverse. I feel like this is also tied to some kind of a decision. That might be what it is. Okay, they see the opportunity, they see the promise, they see the opportunity, and it requires a decision. And that might be where your person is getting tripped up, is actually making the decision. There could be something here that they're needing to weigh options for with, you know, justice, because sometimes that can talk about balance, weighing the scales, right? And so, yeah, I feel like it's tied to some kind of a decision that your person is needing to make. And so it could very well be that in order to move in your direction, they're going to have to cut off another situation or cut off another path in order to move towards you. And it, you know, so yes, there's some kind of an essence of maybe third-party interference coming through. It doesn't have to be a specific person. Many of you are going to know whether or not that's the case. It can just be your person maybe wanting to figure out, like, am I ready to commit? Am I ready for the task at hand, or do I need, or would it be better for me to stay single? Something of that effect, okay? Let's see, so we pretty much have all the signs here except for fire, you guys, okay? Libra coming through heavily, along with the other two fire signs, Gemini and Aquarius. We also have water energy with the Ace of Cups. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, and then we have Earth energy with the Queen of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, okay? So, you know, the lack of fire energy here, this could also be your person trying to not think, not be driven solely by passion and fire and, you know, trying to maybe, like, trying to think of things logically. What's the logical choice? Not basing anything off of, you know, chemistry, not basing anything off of, you know, fire and desire and stuff like that, but really trying to pull back and look at things from just what makes sense, right? What's interesting though is it's with the King of Swords in the reverse, I almost feel like that's to their detriment, right? That might be to their detriment. So let's see. Let's get all these situated real quick, and then we'll find out what their true honest thoughts and feelings are. Pile 3. I'm hearing, sometimes I channel through songs or songs come through, but I think it's a song from the Minions soundtrack. It's a Pharrell Williams song, and all I hear is the do it part. Just do it. Just do it. So yeah, I think that's what it is. Like, that's what your person is kind of feeling confused about, is they're moving towards you, and you know, setting up shop, so to speak, requires them to make a decision, and that decision requires them, if they're going to move in your direction, they got to close the door to a whole other different path, okay? That's what they're having a difficult time, and that's why the King of Swords is showing up in the reverse. But this almost feels like your person possibly confusing themselves, okay? They're overthinking things. It's weird, and maybe we'll see what's going to come out in the rest of the reading, but they're trying to think of things logically. They're trying to be logical. They're trying to be common sense, and it's like, it could be, you know, there could be it almost feels like that's working against them. Like, they're trying to follow their head, and their head is what gets them you know, like, it's a matter of the heart. They need to follow their soul. They need to follow their nudging and their pulling, and that's exactly what they're resisting, because they are being magnetized, I feel, towards you, pile 3. And with that King of Swords in the reverse, they're shutting that off and just trying to be led purely logically. That's what's getting in the way here. Because if they followed their natural tug and their natural pull, they would choose you. Because that's where newness, that's where life is. That's where, you know, I say this often recently now, it's like the Garden of Eden. That's where the land of milk and honey, that's where the promises, and they're getting it wrong. They're like, oh no, I can't follow that. I have to follow what makes sense, what's logical. And that's exactly what's getting them in trouble. So let's see what's going on here. What is going on here? What is pile 3's person? Their thoughts and feelings, their real, true, honest thoughts and feelings towards pile 3. One more shuffle, you guys. I keep hearing that song. You just got to do it. Do it. Oh my God. It's a really cute song, but basically the thing of it is, like, you know, if I remember that correctly, what the lyrics are, it's like, I don't know if it's a lot of work, or, you know, not maybe a lot of work, but with the King of Swords showing up in the reverse, and this does correlate back to that song, it's like the person is just, they're in their head too much. They're trying to weigh the risk versus, or the pros versus the cons, and this and that, and it's like they're getting too much in their head in it, and, you know, because they're doing that, it's almost distorting their view of things. And so it could be something like, especially if they're looking at what they might think as obstacles, it's turning like little molehills into huge mountains. And the essence of the song that's coming through is like, I got to stop doing that. I just need to do it. I just need to move and make the first step and stop overthinking and stop, you know, basically getting in my own way. Pile 3's person still holding a grudge. One foot in and one foot out. Yeah, I can see that. I want the same as you, so we'll see what that's about. That song, they're not letting me hold on. Yeah, and then we have Please Don't Give Up on Me and Give Up on Us. Let me look at that song real quick, Pile, because it's on repeat in my head, and sometimes that happens because there's a message there. One more time, I gotta think about, well, let's see, where is it at? I just got to do it. You guys, give me a minute. They're wanting me, when I say they, I mean like just energetically, there's a message coming through that I haven't delivered fully, and so I'm not being allowed to just move on. Hold on, I'm gonna have to pause the video. Okay, I finally found the song, and you know, do I choose this path? Do I really go all in? Despite whatever the obstacles might be, or whatever, despite whatever the perceived, right, obstacles might be, do I give it my all, you know, or do I duck out? Do I leave it all behind, you know? And the overall premise of the song, it's like, you know, that's what happened. You know, the other person ducked out and decided to leave it, to not have any part in it, and then all of a sudden the other person that stayed strong, you know, they're like, okay, fine, well, if that's what you're gonna do, all right, I'm still gonna give it my all, like in a whole different way, whatever that may look like for you guys. And it's like the person is prospering and the other person's like, wah wah, you know. And so that's kind of like, your person is actually kind of like, they know, like if they don't move in your direction, Pile 3, they know they're gonna miss out. They know it. But for some reason, they're still having a very difficult time, you know, barring off whatever their other path may have been. Okay, and so your person does know what's at stake. They do realize what they're leaving behind or what they're going to miss out on, how great it's going to be if they don't move in your direction and choose a different path. They know that. Okay, they know they're going to see you prospering. They know they're going to see you blossoming. They know that they're going to see you, like, you know, living your best life and stuff. And they're going to be kind of like stuck at home, you know, in mediocrity, not living their best life, not living it up, you know, not feeling alive inside and stuff like that. And so, you know, that makes a lot of sense in that context, but we'll see. There's a couple more. It's like there's this, and it's so strange because the whole point of that is, you know, you're being led by that fire, by that passion, by courage and inspiration, and none of that is showing up in this main spread here. Okay, that could be fear, right? That could be fear. Your person is being possibly led by fear. They want to do the right thing, but they're following the wrong inner voice, okay, at all, and they're blocking out the right one, and that's the issue here. Shutting down, yeah. Not for the foreseeable future. Interesting, showing up right underneath I want the same as you, okay? At the bottom of the deck we have, I'm just having fun here, nothing serious. I will check to see. All right, so out on the board we have still holding a grudge, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I want the same as you. Please don't give up on me, don't give up on us. Shutting down. And shutting down is showing up right underneath 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And so, again, this is your person needing to make a decision. Either they're all in or they're all out. And your person is having a difficult time going all in, and that's coming from a space of fear. Because right here in the main spread, it's all like they see the promise with you. It's like the promise of abundance if they could just be courageous enough and brave enough to choose it. There's something about your person being stuck to a very toxic, if it's not toxic, it's very limiting, okay? Your person staying in a comfort zone just because it's very familiar, it's predictable, but your person does not feel alive. They don't feel like they're living their best life, that they are, you know, their best self or anything like that in that comfort zone, whatever it is, but they're having a difficult time leaving it behind. Okay, so choosing a path with you would be growth, right? There might be some elements of unpredictability there. We don't have to get too far into that, but that's basically what it is. And so, you know, your person shuts down because, and that might be why we also have the King of Swords showing up in the reverse. I almost feel like, yeah, there's a feeling of your person being at a crossroads when it comes to you and their connection with you, pile 3. And they're not choosing. You know, and the whole essence of the song that I was mentioning earlier, it's like, well, life is going to go on anyway. Like, if you don't choose, life is going to choose for you, right? You know, the door is going to be shut either way. So, you know, either you can just default to your comfort zone that's just going to leave you in, you know, just, yeah, I mean, it's comfortable, right? But comfortable isn't always healthy. It's not always conducive to, you know, evolving and stuff like that. It's, you know, no passion. You know, it's comfortable, but it's not exciting. It's not passionate. It's not exhilarating. It's not thriving. Comfort does not equal thriving, right? That comfort zone that your person is it's like it's survival. They're in survival mode, even if it's not like, you know, toxic survival mode. It might be, you know, with you they could thrive. You know, the path with you, they could absolutely thrive. They could feel alive inside, exhilarating, all kinds of new experiences. They'd be growing as a person and evolving and blah, blah, blah. Where they're at, the comfort zone, they're so afraid of leaving, right? If they stay there, you know, yeah, they'll be comfortable, they'll exist, right? But they will not be thriving at all. Still holding a grudge. Tell me more about that. That's your person still holding some kind of a grudge. Not necessarily towards you, though. Their defenses may be up, but this has nothing to do with you. But it is affecting their connection with you. And it is affecting their ability to choose, right? Now here, guess where the wand energy is showing up, right? Guess where the fire energy is showing up in your person's energy. It's in relation to this grudge. Your person is very passionate about not feeling pain again, about not taking risk. There's something maybe in their past where they felt like, you know, there's almost something here coming through about with that 10 of Swords in the reverse, mitigating pain, okay? And so that grudge isn't necessarily holding it like an actual grudge. It almost feels like, it's coming through more in the energy of I'm making sure something doesn't happen that's going to cause me to have a grudge. They're mitigating pain, okay? And that's opening up your reading in terms of like the main spread here. It's like your person is refusing. And that's why they're refusing to exit out of that comfort zone. Because even if that comfort zone includes pain, it's a familiar pain. It's a pain that they know how to deal with. It's a pain they know how to control. It's a controlled pain. Okay? And so with mitigating pain coming out, you know, basically in the energy of still holding a grudge, that's a pain your person is not familiar with. They're like, oh, if I exit this comfort zone and you know, go into the unknown, yes, there's the promise of thriving, but, there's also the potential for pain. Pain that I don't know anything about, pain that I'm not familiar with, pain that I have no idea how to control or how to mitigate, okay? Your person would just feel too vulnerable in the new path versus the one that they're familiar with, the comfort zone they're familiar with. They would feel too vulnerable. They'd feel too new, too unprepared. And sometimes the Page of Wands can also be like, comparison. Like your person would feel like, they're a fish out of water. Whereas maybe in their comfort zone, they feel like the big fish, right? They feel like the big kahuna. But in, this new path with you, they'd feel completely out of their element. They feel like they wouldn't have the ability to really defend themselves or something like that. Yeah, it's all about your person, and it is coming from the space of a very dysregulated nervous system with Temperance in the reverse showing up at the bottom of the deck, okay? That's why your person is not, it's not that they're not choosing, but it's like they're not rejecting the path with you, but they're also not choosing it, and that's why, okay? There's a threat of a very unfamiliar pain, just an unknown. There's a lot of unknowns. Your person is like, I wouldn't know how to mitigate any risks, any pain that might happen and stuff like that. Okay. Tell me about the bottom of the deck energy. I'm just having fun here, nothing serious. You know what? And that could be very much with that Page of Wands energy in the reverse, okay? That's coming from an immature space if that's the case. Whether this is true now or it's on its way out, at some point, if they're not still in that energy, they were not taking things seriously. It's like, they have promise here. They have an opportunity here that they're not taking seriously. And it's coming from, yes, a very dysregulated nervous system, and also it's coming from just immaturity, not being evolved as an energy. It's coming from a space of fear. Tell me about the bottom of the deck energy. Yeah, this is still energy. It's still, there's still, yeah, that's still there. That is background energy. They're not taking any of this seriously. So it's almost like, and that might be why they're feeling stuck to the comfort zone, is because, and this isn't that they, yes, they don't, okay, so how am I wanting, yes, they're not taking you seriously. Here's the Queen of Wands, okay? Or I should say, it's like, I'm just having fun here, nothing serious. That energy works for them in the comfort zone. They get away with that, okay? With you, they don't, the path with you, and so with you, pile 3, and the path with you, they're not going to get away with that. You cannot not take the Queen of Wands seriously. Yes, the Queen of Wands can be very fun, right? Very fun, very charismatic, very exciting, all of that stuff. And you take the Queen of Wands seriously. The Queen of Wands knows what she's worth. She's very self-confident. All that great stuff, very fully embodied in, goddess energy, very much fully embodied, glowing from the inside out. I am very intuitive there with the black cat, right? Very intuitive. You cannot pass one over on, a Queen of Wands energy. You just can't, right? Your person, and that might be why they're also like, they can't get one over on you. That's another reason why they're having a difficult time. Your person's in a very immature way, okay? Not very evolved as an energy. They're showing up as a Page of Wands in the reverse. You're showing up as a Queen of Wands, okay? They are out of their element if they were comparing themselves to you, just in, stages of evolving, okay? That's why they want to stay in that comfort zone, because whoever they might be stuck in that comfort zone with, or maybe not stuck because they're choosing that, right? shine a spotlight on your person where they're not measuring up. And it's not so much like not measuring up like they're not worth it, but it's like, you know, you could, like, pile 3, you're showing your person like who they can be, and not only who they can be, but what can result from them stepping into that archetype, a king, right, to your queen. And while, like, on a surface level, your person can see intellectually, like, the rewards that would come along with that, the growth and the process that's required for them to evolve into a King of Wands, right? To them is like, it's too much. You know, for them, they're like, I'd rather just kind of, that's too much work, right? That's too much work. That's too much expectation. That's too many standards. That's da-da-da-da-da-da, right? Over here in this comfort zone that I'm in, that's not expected of me. I'm the big kahuna over here, right? So, like, in the path with you, that's with you on it, pile 3, they're seeing you as the big kahuna, right? They're the small fish. And they could even be seeing that the wrong way. It's like, no, you it's about evolving and growing as a person, and you know, stuff like that. But your person is very much stuck in ego, especially with that King of Swords showing up in the reverse, okay? They are showing up as a king in that King of Swords, and they're showing up in a very distorted energy of that king, okay? Tell me about I want the same as you. See, your person knows if they don't choose you, you're going to just go off and do your own thing anyway. You're going to prosper anyway. You're going to glow up anyway. You're going to take the world by storm in a good way anyway. And they know that they have the choice or the opportunity to be a part of that or not. They know that, okay? Knight of Wands showing up in the reverse. Yeah, you want them to grow up. You may want them to stop being so inconsistent. So see, it's funny now, all the wand energy is showing up, but when it's regarding your person, it's all showing up in the reverse, right? There's something about your person being very afraid of that energy, fire energy. They don't trust it, so they shut it down, which is incidentally that's the problem, is they're shutting that down. They're shutting down all that inner fire, that inner drive, that inner motivation, which could lead your person to not only evolving as as a person, as a spirit, as an energy, but it also leads to them living their best life, right? Feeling alive inside, feeling excited about life and loving life. And see, right now your person feels like they're just going through the motions. You know, that comfort zone, they're just going through the motions. It's the same shit every day. It's boring, right? There's no passion. There's no inspiration. There's barely any motivation. Whatever motivation that they have is solely just duty bound, right? Obligation. It's like, yeah, it's like whatever motivation they might have, it's not even motivation, it's obligation, right? They're not working because they love it. They're working because their bills need to be paid. You know, they're not in a romantic relationship because, you know, they're head over heels in love with that person. It's because, you know, they just want a companion by their side. They don't want to be alone. It's stuff like that, right? Tell me more about the Knight of Wands in the reverse. But incidentally, your person is also, there's a part of them that wants to grow up, that wants to evolve. Your person, do they even notice this? They might not with that shutting down energy. Yeah, they do. Yes. Your person is aware of, you know, what they're doing with that fire energy and shutting it down. They're aware. It's like they're living their life on mute. Okay, they're living their life on grayscale. Yeah, it works. And it's just, you know, Yeah, they're living their life on mute and grayscale. It's very muted, okay? Yeah, they can still hear some stuff, but it's very, you see what I'm saying? It's like they're not living fully embodied at all, right? At all. Let me turn that off. What do we got going on here? Okay, tell me more about, let's see, the Knight of Wands in reverse. Yeah, they do. They don't want to be this person. They don't want to be, pile 3, your person doesn't want to be this person that spends the rest of their life surviving in a comfort zone just because it's predictable and it's familiar. They understand what they are sacrificing if they choose to. They do. They understand what they're sacrificing if they choose to do that. They're blocking themselves from feeling any sense of aliveness, any sense of passion, any sense of excitement, just that lust for life, right? And they don't want to continue living that way. But, if you know anything about astrology, it is the pull, like we're supposed to, there's a pull towards our north node path, but that south node path can have just an equal, and it just depending on where you're at when it comes to like, your shadow integration and, how dysregulated your nervous system is, especially how dysregulated your nervous system is. If your nervous system is severely dysregulated, the pull to stay in that south node path is going to be so much more stronger than the pull of the north node. There's always a pull both ways, right? And that's the problem. Yeah, that's why there's no, okay, that makes a lot of sense. That's it. Okay, listen, I don't know what your person's north node is. That may not even be the thing it's being brought to my mind, because there is something about your person. They have the opportunity to evolve, and but that does require somebody to step outside of their comfort zone, which if they have a nervous system that's dysregulated, that stepping outside of that comfort zone immediately activates that dysregulated nervous system. The automatic instinct when that nervous system gets activated, dysregulated, is to go pull back, retreat to safety, which is that comfort zone, right? Your person wants to grow. They want to choose the path with you on it. And they need to learn how to regulate their nervous system if that's the case. Okay, shadow work, shadow integration, learning how to process and work through, trauma and emotional baggage and stuff like that. Because right now they're dealing with so much of that the pull to stay in their comfort zone, or that south node zone, is way stronger. In fact, in the main spread, there was no fire. Like, there's almost no pull at all to the north node, to their north node path, which is like where, is growth. That's, destiny or whatever, but it's like the things that we're supposed to grow into. There's almost no pull on that side. Okay, which makes a lot of sense now that it's coming through in that way. That is because your person is dealing with a very loud fears. Very, very loud fears, okay? Yeah, and then we got not for the foreseeable future. We also have please don't give up on me and give up on us. This is your person. They want to choose you. They really, really do. And, when you're dealing with the kind of stuff that your person is dealing with, it makes choosing the north node path, or, the path of growth and the path of whatever that, the path of the unknown, but it does include growth, right? Your person is not regulated enough to consider a path where they would have to mitigate unknown pain. Their nervous system is like, hell no, F that, We're going to go back to, you know, the spot where, yeah, there might be pain there, but we know how to handle that. That pain is familiar. That pain we can deal with, you know, blah, blah, blah. Tell me more about please don't give up on me, don't give up on us. They're trying to learn with the Page of Pentacles. They're trying. They want to learn the lesson. They really do. But the voice of the lessons they've already learned, you know, they're just, again, it's the voices of fear are so much more louder than the voices of like faith and abundance. Okay. Yeah, confusion. So, you know, that's what it is. There's no confusion when it comes to whatever their comfort zone is. Your person, because they've curated it. They have all kinds of, you know, they know what to expect, right? And so there's no confusion about what may or may not happen in that comfort zone. But when it comes to you and the path with you on it, there's too much up in the air. Too much confusion. Too many things could happen. Too many unknown variables. You know, and this kind of, you know, this might be your person wanting to try to figure out what all those unknown variables are before they'll choose. And that's just not how it works. Part of growth is being able to hold space for what the unknown is. You just have to learn, you know, how to mitigate pain as it might come up. You don't let fear of pain happening keep you from taking that next step. And that's exactly what your person is doing. They're like, no, they don't want to take the first step. They want to know what's at the top of the staircase before they do that. And that's just not how it works. See, in your person's comfort zone, they know the entire layout. They know it all, right? And they feel like they're the big man on campus, right? The big kahuna. With you, not at all, right? It's uncharted territory. We got the full energy coming through in that. It's uncharted territory. You know, it's full of unknown variables. It's full of pain that they possibly wouldn't know how to mitigate, risks they wouldn't know how to mitigate, and their nervous system is like, nope, no. Stay over here. Stay over here in this comfort zone where everything, yes, it may not be fulfilling, may not be thrilling, may not even be satisfactory, might even be some kind of elements of pain over here, but at least this shit's known. We know this over here. All those variables are known. This over here, no. Yes, the promise over here is fulfillment, satisfaction, all the good stuff, but that's not where nervous systems work. The nervous systems are completely like, where's the pain? Where's the pain? Right? Yeah, all that other stuff, okay, great, but where's the pain? Oh, we don't know where the pain is? Okay, we're going to go back over here, and we're going to go and know where we know how to deal with that. I hope that makes sense, okay? So what's not for the foreseeable future? Yeah, Queen of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, that's you, you know. Not so they want to choose the path with you on it, but they're not going to, at least not for the foreseeable future. They've got some things they need to clear through. They need to learn how, you know, to get comfortable with unknown variables and how to mitigate, you know, risks and pain that they are not yet aware of. They're just not going to be able to do that. They want to, they know what they're giving up, okay? But as long as they are being run by a dysregulated nervous system, there is almost an inability to choose the path with you on it, even though there could be such a big part of them that wants to. That fear is so strong, it's holding them back from the path that they know, if they were courageous enough to choose it, would lead them to fulfillment and satisfaction and feeling alive inside and all that stuff. But, you know, and I can understand it on the outside looking in. Your person is like, that's way too scary. You know, yeah, there's a very real possibility I'm going to thrive. I'm going to be so happy. I'm going to be fulfilling. But there's also a really real possibility that I'm going to lose my shit, or I'm going to hurt. I'm going to get hurt in ways that I've never known that I could be hurt before. And just that variable in and of itself, the unknown pain, right, that they wouldn't know how to mitigate, like, no, all that other stuff, yes, fine, whatever, but no, I'm going back to my comfort zone. All right, you guys. Pile 3, that was your reading. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again today. If you got from this reading what you came here for, take a moment, if you would, smash the like button for me. It is a wonderful way to energetically donate to the channel. Comment below. Let me know that you picked this pile. Let me know how it resonated. Become part of the family if you haven't yet already done so, simply by subscribing. Don't forget about the notification bell so you don't miss a reading or an announcement in pile 3. I'll see you guys at your next pick a card love reading. Bye, you guys.